Welcome to Keep It Real Studios, the only channel on YouTube that keeps it real. For many years now, the X-Men franchise has been arguably the most popular of them all. X-Men is a beloved superhero group within the comics that has expanded for multiple generations now. X-Men is very unique. It integrates a lot of different powerful messages for fans all over the world. And just looking at the movies, there's been countless movies that have been doing good jobs adapting that message that X-Men has been trying to spread for years. But I truthfully believe the best X-Men movie to this day would have to be X-Men First Class. X-Men First Class is arguably the best X-Men movie. It captures everything that makes X-Men great, from its powerful themes, deep character development, and just overall incredible action sequences. It serves both as an origin story and a soft reboot, from blending classic comic elements with a fresh storytelling. Unlike the other X-Men films, it fully embraces the fact that the mutants are outcast in this world that we live in. This theme is very good, and I believe it truly represents what made us fans love X-Men in the first place. I truthfully believe that at one point in time, anybody and everybody could relate to the fact that they felt like an outcast. No matter where you were, no matter what you were doing, you just had this feeling like you didn't belong. I really feel like X-Men brings this message to life. I truly believe this is a powerful message, not in terms of just movies and comic books, but in terms of real life. I feel like teaching the younger generation and even the older generation that it's very important to accept and love yourself for who you are, than rather to try to change who you are to fit in among others. If there's a person who deserves the credit for bringing X-Men First Class to life, it would have to be Vaughn, the director. This man truly had a vision. He didn't want to just make another superhero movie. He wanted to make an X-Men film that felt raw, stylish, and overall impressive. He had an amazing vision that captivated the comics and made it stand out in a cinematic masterpiece. If we're looking into the casting choices, they were absolutely spot on. From the cast and the directors and the overall crew, their chemistry and their performance with each other was really shown on screen. You could really feel the energy, the relationship, and it all felt so real. I truly believe that Vaughn didn't just pick the actors who looked the part, but he picked the actors who truly embodied these characters. And that's why I feel like this movie works so well, because it's so adamant and showing the raw emotion that each character was going through the beginning and the progression of the movies. Every character truly had a storyline and had an attribute and an overall challenge to overcome to the climax of the story. And when you see the characters just meet each other and interact, you just see the struggle and the trauma bond among each other, and it just brings them closer as a group and just forming the X-Men and just showing them the growth that can happen within the team. At its core, I really believe these films had the best adaptations of Charles Xavier and Magneto's relationship. Just from showing their past and their upbringing and the traumas that both men went to, and showing the man that they become later on as the movie progresses on, it really shows their dynamic and their depths and each man's ideological perspectives on what it means to be a mutant. You know, Charles Xavier himself just kind of shows the peaceful vision and the coexisting, while Magneto is more aggressive and survival approach. Much like in the historical parallels between MLK and Malcolm X. The movie did a good job blending both ideological perspectives of each individual character. And I feel like you can kind of understand both perspectives just based on their upbringing and the challenges and the traumas that each character went through. And you kind of understand both sides too as well. And you can also see how each side parallels with one another. I really love that perspective because it kind of makes you lean more to one side and lean more to the other side based on your upbringing too and the way you kind of see the world, not only within the comics books, but in real life too as well. If we're looking past just the ideological dynamics between the characters and just focusing overall beyond its themes, it delivers a high stake of action with memorable villains like Sebastian Shaw and the Hellfire Club. This cinematography gives us some of the best and iconic moments in the X-Men history. Some scenes that truly stick out to me, it would have to be just the recruitment of all the X-Men to the little cheeky Wolverine cameo that they had. And definitely my absolute favorite scene would have to be each X-Men truly learning and developing their powers. Charles Xavier just taking the time to train each mutant to not only hone and master their powers, but see what else their powers are capable of. I really love all these dynamics within the characters because it just shows how unique each mutant ability is and how it can just transcend to the basic norms of what the people think their power is. It just shows how deeper of an understanding each mutant can learn and develop and grow their powers. One of the most powerful and underrated scenes in the X-Men First Class would have to be the moments between Beast and Mystique, where Beast is so driven by his own insecurity and he attempts to use Mystique's DNA to cure the mutation. This moment speaks volumes because of his core struggles of being a mutant, the internal battle between self-acceptance and the desire to fit in. Beast, despite his intelligence, skills, he still sees mutation as a flaw and something that needs to be fixed. While Mystique herself is someone who's just truly been struggling with her own identity and is just learning to cope with it through the recent help of Magneto. So it's a really impactful scene, and it somehow reflects the classic comic X-Men themes and just the atmosphere and just the marginalized groups. I feel like X-Men is just a good correlation of even race in general. There are a lot of people with different races that they feel like outcasts in the real world, and I really feel like sometimes people kind of change their persona and get rid of their culture or even certain aspects of themselves just to fit in. And I feel like in the X-Men First Class movies, they use those ideas and those problems that people face and just bringing it into mutations and mutants. And I really love that aspect between just the dynamics between Beast and Mystique. And one of my favorite things about this whole movie is mutant and proud. I see this quote as you being proud of who you are and yourself. You gotta not listen to the world. You gotta focus on who you are as an individual and focus on your attributes and remember that you are special and you are unique. And I truly believe that's the true definition of what that line means. Whether or not mutants exist in the real world, I truly believe there's a message within all of that you can really discover who you are as an individual. When you stop and think about it, the X-Men First Class is more than just a superhero movie. It's a film about identity, self-acceptance, and a struggle to find your place in this world. It takes the heart of the X-Men comics and truly brings it to life, in a way that feels both timeless and deeply personal. Beyond the action and the incredible storytelling, it carries a message that resonates far beyond mutants and superpowers. Just like Mystique's journey throughout the film, you see her learn to embrace who she truly is. Or even Magneto, he's trying to fight to never be oppressed again. This movie reminds us that our differences aren't flaws. They are what makes us truly powerful, unique, and special. Whether it's your race, sexuality, or anything part of you that makes you feel like an outcast, just remember you don't need to hide it. You don't need to change to fit in or try to be normal, because I truly believe there's no such thing as normal. You just need to be proud of who you are and what you will be in the future. But overall, that's basically it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Comment down below and tell me a little bit some of your thoughts about this whole X-Men First Class. How does X-Men inspire you overall? What are some of your favorite X-Men characters? But that'll be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to keep it real.